Hello! You are watching the Video Voters Guide, organized by the League of Women Voters of Portland. All candidates who filed for this race were invited to participate in the Video Voters Guide. However, there are many reasons during a campaign why a candidate may be unable to appear. For comprehensive coverage by the League, including information on candidates who might not have been available for a video interview, visit vote411.org. Information is available in both English and Spanish. Candidates may choose to include additional information on Vote 411, such as their own YouTube videos. Watch, share, and be an informed voter.
Greetings and welcome. This is Debbie Kay, President of the League of Women Voters of Portland. And with me today is Mary Botkin, running for Multnomah Education Service District, Zone 2, Position 3 in the May 18th election. Thank you for joining us today, Mary.
Thank you for having me, Debbie. It's nice to be here.
Good. We have a few questions for you, and we'll need to get through them fairly quickly as it's a short interview. Voters are often less familiar with the functions of the educational service districts than they are with their local school boards and school districts. Please describe a couple of functions of the MESD that you think voters would be surprised to learn about.
I think voters would be very surprised to find out that the MESD provides educational services to students who have serious medical issues and are in the hospital, Dornbecker, Shriners, that environment. I think they'd also be surprised to know that we have probably the largest population of students with disabilities. And we also provide statewide, we provide educational services to youth who are in the criminal justice system, both incarcerated as well as just identified as potentially at risk of entering the criminal justice system. So we have a wide variety of students that we provide services for, but we also provide services for all of our member districts here in the metropolitan area, so the Tri-County area. And they, member districts decide what services they want from us and they purchase them.
Thank you. I learned a couple things right there. I appreciate that. What specifically motivates you to run for a position on the MESD rather than, say, a position on your local school board?
I think the duties that the MESD provide I think the services that we provide are varied and critical. A lot of people want to talk about breaking the school to prison pipeline. At MESD, we do that. That's what we do. We make sure that students who are either in the criminal justice system or identified as headed towards the criminal justice system receive educational services that meet their needs as well as the needs of the school district. And quite frankly, I think it's very exciting. I think that the work that we do is much more interesting than just that of a mainstream K through 12 environment.
Terrific. Clearly, you've chosen the right place. How do you see the MESD supporting participating school districts as students return to in-person schooling?
Well, we provide some educational services that are remote, and we do what we can to support the school district's effort in providing a variety of different kinds of access points for students who struggle with a mainstream traditional educational environment.
Thank you. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing our public schools right now, and what might be your plan to address it?
Well, funding's always an issue, and I'm sort of focused on one thing right now, and I'm on a board, so other people on my board are focused on other things, but my focus right now is getting appropriate and adequate funding for students in the criminal justice system. And, I hate to keep going back to that, but I think that this is an area these students are easy to ignore until they're so costly they can't be ignored anymore. And I want to keep them out of the adult system. I want to give them opportunities that they can see a path forward that does not include prison time. And I just think it's really, really important that we get the kind of funding and support that we need to provide the educational support that these students need, along with the students with disabilities or the students who are in hospital settings. You know, we have a very different population than the mainstream school districts do. And I think it's pretty exciting to be able to work with these students. And that's why I chose the MESD. That's why I'm that's why I'm running for it again. I'm running for re-election. I've been there for about 5 years, and I think that what we do is critical for our school district, our member districts, as well as for the students that we serve and their families.
Thank you. What do you think should be done to promote public safety, or rather promote safety in schools?
We need to get a handle on guns, period. First, we got to stop gun violence on the streets. At our program at Helensview High School, we have lost 8 students to gun violence during the pandemic. That is breathtaking for me. It is the most, it is hard to even talk about, because it is just unbelievable that this could happen, but it is. And I think the first thing we need to do is, sort of get a handle on random gun violence. We need to get the guns off the streets. We just have to do that. Mm-hmm. And, I think that there's a lot of different things that schools can do a little differently. One of the things that we're tackling at MESD is developing a curriculum around what we call hard history, so that we can talk about history in Oregon and in the country, where our students of color, where our BIPOC students can actually see themselves in the history and see real history, not history that makes white people comfortable.
Thank you for those considered responses. We have about a minute. Is there anything else that you want to say?
Understand that ESDs are different than a mainstream traditional school district. Our boards are different, and we focus on pretty specialized areas of service. And every ESD is a little different because it's geared toward the population of the students and the families that we serve and the school districts that utilize and need our services. We provide a lot of business services as well as educational support services to our school districts, along with providing actual classroom experience and time. And now we're advancing and looking at STEM programs and having programs in-house that our students can learn from and hopefully leave and have a job.
Thank you, Mary. It's been a pleasure hearing from you and learning more about the Educational Service District.
Well, thank you, Debbie, and thanks for all the work that the League of Women Voters does every day and all the time, and for, all of my history. League of Women Voters have always been there, so keep up the good work, ladies.
I want to remind our viewers that the special district election will be Tuesday, May 18th. As with all elections in Oregon, we will vote by mail. The last day to register is April 27th, and ballots will be mailed beginning on April 28th and must be received by Tuesday, May 18th at 8 p.m. Postmarks do not count. Please plan to mail early or use a drop-off site. Additional information about races and other things to know about the election are available at the League-sponsored website, vote411.org. Please be an informed voter and share this resource with your family and friends. Thank you again for joining us today. I'm Debbie Kay with the League of Women Voters of Portland.